Hi everyone! What is good? Welcome back to the channel. This is Silver Hyena, and once again I am going back in with the Derwent Watercolor Pencils. I really enjoyed using these with that first little sketch, and I want to do one on, well, something larger. So I had sketched up this line art that I'm still working on. Yeah, I know. But I'm using the same color pencils I did before, and then gonna go in with the Derwent Watercolor Pencils and see what we can do. Just want to make sure that all of my erasable lines are where I need them before I start putting over some marks that are a bit more, shall we say, permanent. Alright, so I've got the line art all set and ready to go, and I still kept my original color palette. Still kept that out. Oh boy, my table is a mess. Okay, although this time I'm gonna try something a bit different. Last time I added green as kind of an afterthought. I'm gonna put a small light layer of green down first, which some of you might be thinking, what are you doing? He's blue. Sonic is blue. Well, yeah, that may be true, but a little underlayer of green will show through and add more depth and dimension. Please, just trust me. And of course I'm ready to erase the footage and burn it all if I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, like, but I'm not crazy or anything. Yeah, who am I kidding? Okay, this time I am really happy that I went in with the green first thing. It really paid off later in the coloring process. Usually I prefer to put down the deepest shadows first, just to help block out where the light is coming from. Although, to be fair, that's something I'm still working on. Overall, these watercolor pencils are a lot of fun to use. I find that putting down a few layers of the watercolor pencil first, adding a wash, letting it dry, then going back in to add more watercolor pencil is the best way to get a nice, even, full coverage of color. Just remember to be patient and build up those layers. Just like with regular dry color pencils, be patient and build those layers up. I cannot stress this enough. At the time of this recording, I've only used the Fine Touch brand watercolor pencils, and of course these ones, so my experience with watercolor pencils is very limited. However, they are something I am actively keeping an eye out for, trying to pick up different brands just so that I can try to find the absolute best ones. Another thing you can do is put the watercolor pencil down while the surface is still wet. Just keep an eye on your lead and wait to sharpen until completely dry, of course. Yeah, I got impatient once. There is also the dip the pencil lead in the water directly and color technique. Just be careful not to get the wood part of the pencil wet, since you don't want your watercolor pencils to start rotting. Just color me paranoid, okay? One thing that I love about watercolor pencils in general is the amount of control you get with them. Ironic to speak of control while doing an illustration of Sonic, right? Yes, I know. I'm painting Sonic again, but dang! I remember when that movie was supposed to be the joke of 2020. Just look up the first trailers of Sonic the Hedgehog if you're not sure just what it is I'm going on about. Originally, I was just expecting something dumb but cute. Without spoiling too much, since I could gush all day, what I got was something fun, funny, and absolutely heartfelt. Let me put it to you this way. I hardly ever get Blu-ray. When it comes to movies, I am cheap. As long as the quality looks like at least a decent YouTube video quality, I'm okay with it. I got Sonic on Blu-ray. Put that into perspective. Alright. You're here for a review of Derwent Watercolor Pencils, not a movie review. Although, who knows? Maybe I could do a movie review. However, it would probably be incredibly biased. Okay, so let's talk about some of the good and some of the bad about these particular colored pencils. What did I really like about them? Well, first off, the color selection is very nice. I, of course, sprung for the 36 count, which was the biggest I could find. I had previously ordered these on Amazon. I have an unboxing video, and I will share a link to that in the description below. But I do believe that there was also a 12 and a 14 count set, so I will confirm that just right now, just in case. So the color selection, I absolutely love it. Now then, where I'm a little bit mixed is how they react with the water. I had seen some other videos where other artists had the same trouble I did, where it doesn't completely melt, shall we say, as you saw from if you saw the previous video with when I did the swatches, you will notice that the swatches didn't really turn out all that well. It was kind of, I want to use the term spotchy, like, you know, real scientific here. It wasn't quite melting the way it should have been. However, that was just the swatches. I found that when I was actually working on an illustration, on an actual drawing, painting, whatever you want to call it, I found that it just melted in better. So I don't know. Somehow I've always had better luck when doing stuff that is more complicated. I don't know if it's just a me thing or a, I honestly don't know. The other thing that I really appreciated about this set was that, okay, I've already mentioned color selection, but that's also just because it does have a good range of some really dark darks and some very light lights, which is always important. Because with the fine touch watercolor pencils, I had a lot of trouble because everything was just so blasé mid-tone that it was hard to get some good shading. With this color selection, I had no issue. There was no issue with that. Okay, so now some of the bad about these. I don't know if it's just my luck, but I was having some issues with broken leads. When I was sharpening them, some of the leads started to crumble. So, excuse me a minute while I go put my fist into a pillow. Okay. Anyways, so broken leads are a huge letdown, and from a brand as prestigious as Derwent, I expected better. And of course, there is the before mentioned that they don't quite melt with the water as much as I was hoping that they would. So again, it's like you can blame the pencils, you can blame the paper, but in the end, sometimes I guess you just gotta try out these things for yourself. Overall, I still enjoyed them. One thing I do want to do eventually is see how well these mix with watercolors. Use watercolors on top of the watercolor pencils and see if that'll help blend things out even better. Yep, getting scientific again. Gonna be doing some experimenting. Anyways, as I'm sure you noticed earlier, I've also been using my Crayola signature tricolor pencils, which were a lot of fun to use, even if they were only brought in for the line art. As much as I love pen and ink, I was trying to avoid using my beloved pens and fine liners, you know, to challenge myself. Alcohol-based markers look fantastic with a colored pencil line art, so I figured that I'd try out the same technique with watercolor pencils, and I for one think it worked out very well. To finish things off, I brought out the fanciness of Faber-Castel Polychromos color pencils, just to add in some nice touches, especially with the white. I'll admit, I think I got a little carried away in some places, but I liked adding in some details with the regular colored pencils. I think it just brought everything together. If you've used any of these supplies that I shared in this video, please let me know. As always, I love to hear what you guys have to say. Alright, so here is the finished piece, even though of course I didn't let it dry. I'm way too impatient for that. Anyways, overall, I enjoyed using these colored pencils. These were a lot of fun to use. Now I just want to get more brands of watercolor pencils to compare them to. The one thing I was disappointed in was that a few of the leads, when I was sharpening them previously, had broken, and you all know how I feel about broken leads. However, while working on the pieces, and I'm also counting I said pieces because, well, there was the one I did in the previous video, but while I was actually working with them, nothing was breaking, so, yay! Anyways, if I had to give these colored pencils, these watercolor pencils, the Derwent Watercolor Pencils, a numerical rating. I believe I did this in the other video, but I'm not sure. I will confirm. However, I would say that as of right now, a 7 out of 10 is fair, I think, subject to change when I am able to try out more brands of watercolor pencils. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Silver Hyena, signing off. Stay creative, everybody. Bye!